Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of SnowFool here in City Skylines, where we have a unique situation going down. Now, recently I've been doing a lot of work on the opposite side of the river right now, and we're starting to build the city up and it's getting quite big. Now, one of the things that I didn't realize that I don't have right now is a train line that connects from one side of the river to the other. Now, I do have ships and they can take the goods to the ships, get on a ship and then take it over the river to the other side, and that works completely fine. But what I didn't anticipate was the sheer amount of goods that would be transported between the two places. And when I say I didn't expect to see what I seen, trust me, I didn't expect to see what I just said right now. There's a lot. There's a lot going down right now between the two harbors. It's a little bit juicy. I mean, some of it is obviously for other stuff as well, but it's a little bit juicy right now with what's going down. Now, the problem is we do have two train lines kind of passing through. We got one that starts here, goes all the way down, and pretty much terminates at the harbors here, but with that it is intertwined and connected within the vast area of this area of SnowFool. Now we have a second train line which starts over here, as you can see, comes all the way through up here, goes all the way down, crosses over here and goes up in that direction. Now those two train lines do not touch, and because they don't touch, the only way that they can transfer the goods is either via lots of vehicles driving over the bridge, or taking it or training it to its closest harbour and then shipping it over to its next closest harbour, which is putting a lot of pressure and stresses on our harbours and our shipping areas. So today we are going to try and bridge the connection, get it, with trying to get the two train lines up. Now I don't want to do it anywhere near here, because if I do, it's really shortening distance. As efficient as that's going to be, it might slightly overload my train network. And I got to remember, I have passenger trains on some of these lines as well. So we kind of go a little bit out of the sticks a little bit and see what we can kind of get up with. Now, I've kind of found the perfect location where the train line here on this side bends. I could do a little V to get it to follow the highway. It's just then trying to figure out, once I bring it down to here, how we connect it to this train line. Oh, it actually might be a good idea to place it over there. But we'll get onto that in just a moment. We just need to first set this all up. So, if you are enjoying SnowFool, boys, smash that like button down below. If you aren't already here, make sure you do subscribe so you get notified when more episodes do come out in the future. So what we're going to do, we can select the train line. We're going to go to parallel mode. And what I'll get it to do is I'll try and get it to run parallel with this highway. So we'll bring it to about there, and then we'll pull it away to go in that direction. And then we'll pull it off just there to kind of connect there to a V. Now, how far over do I want it to go? So if I did a 20, is that classed as a 20? What's that classed as a 30? It does clip the edge a little bit. I can bring it back in for a 20. That means the train line's going to be quite snug as a bug to the edge. And I think that would be quite perfect. So let's press enter. Let's get that in. We now have a glorious train line which will be running simultaneously to the highway. And here, there's a little bit of an edge, which is quite nice. It lifts up as a little bit of a bridge right there. I don't think I like that idea. So we'll upgrade it. Excuse me, I said we'll upgrade it. There we go, to go down. Okay, good stuff. So let's do the easy bit first then, which is kind of creating and connecting a V here. So I reckon we should pick... Yeah, we should pick about here, and if I go out by 5, can I do my infamous 21 by 21s? Yes, I can. And we'll just kind of quickly edit these a little bit. Bring these slightly in. Bring these slightly in. Bend them. So it's more of a smoother transition. For the train line to get all connected up. Now, it's not going to be a perfect straight bend in, so I reckon we delete back by 1, 2 maybe? And we'll be super lazy and use the connection tool to do the rest of the work for us. So we'll go into a maximum bend, which is just there. Sweet. So there's a little bit of elevation here, there, and everywhere. So what we'll do, we'll quickly just pause it and smoothen all this out. Smoothing all that out right there, boys. You won't even notice what has just happened. That's how glorious this all is. Good stuff. So as simple as it is that was, we now have a train line connecting there going down here. But now we're going to try and figure out how to get over there. Now I did say this might be the perfect location for it. Does the highway doesn't actually technically elevate, but I reckon we should make the highway here elevate up as if it was meant to go over this. And there's probably nothing stopping me kind of creating a little bit of a waterway to kind of skadoodle through. I don't think ships could make it down here, could they? No, it's a little bit too narrow. It is a little bit too narrow, but we're going to elevate all of this here. So it's a 2-lane highway. So let's quickly get all this sorted out. 2-lane highway. And we're going to elevate it all. So if I go from there and there to there and there. Nice. And then if we just pick, for example, 2 middle points, which is there. And then we raise them up. You raise me up. Which, is that a little bit too high? You raise me down. And then we'll use our alignment tool real quick to see what we can get. So it's a 5.4. It might be a little bit too high. 5.9. 6s. 6s. Is that a little bit too high, you reckon? I feel like it might be a little bit too high, so we'll raise it down a little bit more. So that should be enough to get the trains underneath. And then do all this again real quick. Oh, wrong buttons. I'm pressing my Discord buttons right now. Right, there we go. We've heavily reduced the incline. So it makes it a little bit more friendly for the vehicles. So the whole reason for that is so I can get a train line to skadoodle underneath. So we'll go, I'll actually put this just here so I can run alongside it, an actual line cutting through. Now, that is perfect. That is high enough for us. And then we need to try and do something here to create said connection. So it might be a case of where I come out here by a 5. We'll do our 21 by our 21. And then we need to figure out how we can get these here then connected. So I'm going to utilize the connection tool. There to there. Obviously coming off this end. And can I reduce this as much as I can, or do I have to bend it a little bit more? So if I went like that, I think we'll get away with that. Yeah, I think we'll get away with that. And then, to be honest with you, if I deleted you and you, I can have it come via a diagonal. Which would probably be better for us. Yeah. Right, let's sort this V out then. So, do what we did earlier. Bring it slightly in, slight bend on these to smoothen the transition. So it's not so much of a 90-degree corner. So they can kind of maintain their speed almost. This looks a little bit tasty, this bend now. So is it worth me slightly adjusting it? Only ever so slightly. Maybe bring that in. Stretch that a little bit to about there. There we go. A little bit nicer, that. A little bit nicer. And then we'll try and figure out. Now, the problem is, it is quite hilly around here. So it might be a case of we slightly go around the edge. So if I went, for example, if I went off this and then just went by a 20, and then we utilize a nice little wiggle to kind of tear through. So that's going to go slightly up. Oh, hang on, I've completely shot past it right now. Right, I'm going to go to there. And well, connection tool knows best. The connection tool knows best. So if I maximize. Okay, maybe not like that. Well, if I did this one instead. There's something in this I can kind of play around with. Press F to follow. Control F to follow terrain. No, that didn't do what I wanted to do. I don't think that's the one. That's not the one that I want. So why don't we? What's that? That's the curve mode. No. Okay, I think I want the loop one. I mean, you get that from the loop. Oh, damn. Right, okay, we're going to have to sort something out there. Right, there to there. It's a lot nicer, that. You get better curvatures. You do get better curvatures. So what I'll do here then real quick is I'll select you and select you. And then just raise you up till you're at a point where it looks semi-normal. Ish, he says, semi-normal-ish. And we'll go from there to here. So we'll smooth it all out as well to kind of sort out the gradients. There to... Is that too short of a one? Or if I go from here to here. Do you know what? Yeah. Because we'll then use the smoothing tool to kind of zhuzh it all up. And those little kind of dents it puts into it is all part of the fun of running this train line through and around. Like little supporting areas to get the train line connected. So without doing anything else right now, we are technically now connected via the train line. It's a lot cleaner and a lot smoother, that is, isn't it? It is a lot cleaner, a lot smoother to see all that now run. Now, it's a case of waiting to see trains start using it, because it will take a while for the pathfinding to all update to realize that it is actually possible to kind of, you know, run down there. So we'll now see. We'll see how long it takes. And hopefully when we start seeing the trains going back and forth on our new route, we should start to see this slowly die down a little bit. So with that now pretty much a waiting game, we're now going to extend this area over here to bring more people to the region. So we're going to go from here right now, and I'm going to push this up to there, that 30 mark. And we'll do it down here as well, the 30 mark. Bringing that directly in. And we'll try and follow some of these patterns to maximize the area and space. So that happened to be a 20. So I could do another 20. Or I could do a 10 here and then run this way. So give me a second. Alright, delete you. To run. Oh, that went a little bit skewiff, didn't it? That went a little bit skewiff, boys. Right, down to there. Now this here is a 25, so I think it's easy to just kind of cut across like that. So it's just to add something a little bit different to the area. I'm just kind of mimicking what we've currently got. And then what we'll do, we'll fill it up with a lot of high density residential. There we go. And I don't want to put like maybe... No, I don't think some type of park in here. I mean, I could do a park, but not the usual type of park that we kind of think of. Like a city park. I think this makes a little bit more sense. So one side's going to have more squares than the other, I believe. No, it's actually quite even. It's actually quite even. And we'll put down some commercial around it. Again, just to bulk it all up a little bit more. Bit more residential. Just around here. And do we have enough water in this area? We do. So we'll see how they get on with that. There's quite a few things now going on. We're just waiting for the trains to now pass through the new areas. We're waiting for all this to now build up. Spend those demands. It's all go, boys. It's all go. So here's our new area right now. A new train line. Any new trains passing through just yet? Not yet. So it hasn't updated on the Pathfinders just yet. But we're all eagerly waiting. We are all eagerly waiting right now. We should see a large increase in vehicles coming in as well. So the roundabout's doing its magic. It's doing exactly what we wanted it to do. Making all the vehicles flow through. And it's going to get a little bit more busier as more people do move in. Now, I think it's important that we do create some type of a connection here. But I reckon we should do it on this section there. So if I came out by an 11. And then... Oh, this is a tough one. Do I kind of make it just simply follow here? 8. Or, rather than do the bend like that, I come out by 4. Whoa, what happened there? I come out by 4, so we get some type of a straight bit first. And that will become a 4x4 bend. And that leads straight into there. So you have a nice standardized connection. Now I could make this flow for there, but doing that, does that just create a shortcut to avoid all these 4-lane roads? Yes. Yes, it does. But we do have these coming together as well. So I'm not sure how I work with this area just yet. I'm just giving ourselves an additional connection. And what I like about it, this one's on this side where that one's on that side. So it's like kind of like a little bit of a mini spiral in many ways. Now we've got the elevation just there, which we might make one of these roads pass under. And we'll probably also buffer the highway with the trees. So if I push this down as well, it's all part of it, boys. It's all part of it right now. We'll increase the strength slightly, as this is our way to kind of have a slight little teaser into how it's going to look with all the trees passing by on the highway. Now, it will slowly grow on us, but that's pretty much how it's going to go. Pretty much how it's all going to go. Right, are we getting trains in our new area yet? There's our little V. Oh, I think I've seen one up here. Yes. So you've just come from the cargo terminal over here. Ah, okay, so it's exporting out of the region, but going in that direction. That's kind of interesting. Very... Oh, what's going on here? So I didn't build these roads before anybody asks. I didn't build them. But they definitely are a little bit funky. That should be a single lane. And so should that. Oh, do I want to upgrade all of this? I feel like we should, because now we are gonna start seeing a lot more traffic in general. So, normal road, upgrade. So what happens here is we're on a 2-lane road, and it then this where it splits into 2. This should be a single lane. Now, by this being a single lane, it's what helps it merge into the 2-lane at the very end. There. But obviously, the same thing happens here. It's 2-lane. As you turn off, this should then go into a single lane. It's called basic lane math. Now, I didn't build all this before anybody asks. This is what was in the this map by default. So you can't blame me for this one. You literally cannot blame me for this one. It's nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. Alright, all this here should have been elevated. Boy, elevate. There we go. Alright, up and over. And then that merges into there. This still can skadoodles all the way around. There. So it makes it super easy then with the connections. That looks really weird now. It's all now nice and thin. But makes it super easy with the connections right now. So where these guys are trying to merge in together, we now make them merge in like that. We sort the lane connectors out. So it just allows them to free flow a little bit easier. Now we've got to do this on every single one. And then the other two just over here. So just to really, really help the traffic flow just that little bit easier. Right, okay. So, we're just waiting for trains. We're playing the train game. Any more? Oh, there's one just there. Now, is that a passenger train? That is a passenger train. Going outside of the region. Which actually is another thing we could potentially do, is bring passenger trains this way as well. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to solve all of our problems, but it will take a little bit of the heat off some of our problems. We're still going to have all of this because everybody wants to go from cargo hub to cargo hub because it is the shortest route. You know, there's only so much you can kind of do about that. But you have to give them time. You got to give them time to realize that these things are possible. Now, this area is building up quite nice. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. There's another train there coming from outside the region. So it all helps. It literally does all help. Now, we want this to pass through, but it's going to take some time to kind of get done. And there's only so much we can kind of complete with this. Trains are skedoodling out. We're getting lots. I mean, it's a good thing. You know, it's not really a negative thing because it means we're getting lots of cargo coming in, and that's exactly what we want. So there's that train that we just seen coming from different sides of the region. Oh, it's actually double trains. Do I set up a passenger route? I feel like I'll be a little bit wasted. It would be a little bit wasted, wouldn't it? Setting up a passenger train line. Because it's way too far, isn't it? It's just way too far for them to travel when they can just, you know, use the underground metro. Which makes life 10 times easier. So I don't think I'll go down that road. I don't think I'll go down that road just yet. But, yeah. Very good. Is this a cargo train? No. I like the style of the train, though. It is pretty cool, isn't it? Look at that. 680 people are on that train. Well, could be on that train. I should say. Right, we've seen a lot of vehicles coming in right now. These will be all the people moving into here. Very good, sir. Very good. And this is another thing as well. It kind of makes me want to build an additional train line. So we've got this longer variation coming in. Now, while it does help, to be honest with you, I'm now starting to think that it's that long that they're just not going to pick it by default. I was hoping that the trains use it, because sometimes, even though the shipping might be a shorter option, they'll still train the goods. Like, you know, choo-choo train it. But we have another option. I have this area here and that area there to bridge over a train gap. Because there's nothing stopping me connecting off these, which are on the main routes. You see where this is going now, don't you? You can see where this is going. Now, if I was to do that, this train line here goes underground. So the question would be, how do we approach it? How do we approach connecting something like this now up? Now, the obvious thing we could be to do is to do a V here that then kind of passes under, because we'll need to do an underpass over there, but I reckon we should connect it elsewhere so it's not as obvious. Now, we do the connection just there to go underneath. Where would it work here? That would make a lot of sense. I reckon here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause, get out of underground mode for a second. I've got an idea. We're going to delete back to there. Yeah, I reckon that'll be fine there. And I've got a couple of options. I could either sink this all down to kind of make it enter a connection here that we then make go underground. Right. Because I want it out of the way so it's not like so efficient that it becomes the main route. You know what I mean? But I'm thinking we also go ahead and connect this up like this. So if I bring that to there and then connect you in like, you know, as that kind of comes down, which means it's merged across this here. But what I'm going to do is select you, and I can't select that because it's there. So what I'll do is I'll raise this down because I want it low to create a V to connect. Okay, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting. So V to connect. And if I make this also be the same object height as you. Now we use our alignment. So this to there. Gradual incline down. There to there. Just so I can grab that node that I can't reach. And then from pretty much there to here as we overpass. So what I need to make this be elevated, basically. I'm going to elevate that 4-lane road. Now, we'll select it, and we'll elevate it so it goes up and over. And then I can slightly then smoothen it out. Now, we get underground the metro line, the metro loop, that we're just going to have to quickly select underneath here to kind of sink it down a little bit so we don't get caught in the vibe that I'm trying to create. But you wouldn't really notice it that wow. Look at the highway right now. The highway becomes a lot more elevated than it actually is. Now, the whole reason for this is so, and we'll have to try and figure this out right now, how far away I am. So I would normally go to about there. So if I come up by a 5 and then think about my 21 by 21 connection that you would normally do, we'll bring this in a bit, and I'm going to try and select this right now from underneath, which is going to be difficult. Very difficult. So if I... Okay, that was not as difficult as I was expecting, but it's still going to be... Right, we have to manually move it like that. Which that's not far off, so we'll go with that. There we go. Bend you in to bend you in. Now, it is almost just high enough, but that's because of this here is not the right object height. It's got to be the object height to this, so it should drop down a bit more. Now, once you've got that on the scene, here to here should now sync. Here to here should now sync. And now we're no longer connecting or touching. This is now the perfect height. This is feeling quite industrial now, isn't it? It is feeling quite industrial, this area. So, smoothing you all out. A little bit more. Which kind of meets this area quite nice, because this is an industrial area. And then, obviously, we want to make this then go underground. That's pretty much how this is going to work. So, back to this. Now, we'll sort the alignments out again in just a moment anyway, but if I'm going to go down by a minus... Oh, damn it. Damn it, you fool. Minus 12. And then we're going to get that to run to then eventually pop out here. Okay, like I said, it's going to be a very, very big ask to do this. Now we'll go down and connect to there. So all it is it's a bypassing route. That's literally all it's going to be, is some type of a bypassing route. So we're just going to make sure that we get this now all looking pretty good. So, can I not select this? The connection's there? No? What am I selecting here to get this to work? Oh, it's that one there. Alright, get that plain ball right now. So our alignment will go from there to there. So it does seem quite high, doesn't it? It does seem quite high with how it's going to look. So I reckon we even drop this slightly to create like a real tunnel effect, as if, you know, it's something that we are going to be kind of going into. So flatten that out slightly. The subway line is just there. We've got to quickly fix. So just bring it down. We'll go with that. Nice little shadow castle on the side. We'll go with this. This is actually going to work out quite perfect. So we just got to make sure now that we do a few little bits and bobs to kind of make it make sense. So if I run... Oh, no, delete that. I wasn't, I wasn't sunken down enough. Right, we'll go down to a minus 20. because we also have to cross the sea. Even probably -20 is not enough to cross the sea. But we'll bring it to just here. And then we'll use some connection tools. Alright, that will do there. And then from here to here, that will do there. Which it does raise up, so even though I tried to sink it down enough, it still didn't work. But we'll select all of this, and then we'll sink it down ourselves, so you can't see it on the actual bed. There we go. Now that is a little standardized connection right there. It's just simply to give us a little bit of a shortcut to get over there to eliminate this problem. But it's out of the way. If I did the connection close to this, it will overload this, but then also make this absolutely worthless. So we still want some use out of this. I'm just not sure how this is going to play out. But then again, we'll still have some of the back and forth anyway. So now we're going to figure out then how we're connecting this up to there. So I think it might be a case of another elevated section, like how we did with all this little bit here. So we'll bring this now out to there, but I'm going to make it connect to here. And in. So if I use the alignment tool to now kind of slowly sink this down to there, and then we're just going to then elevate this road ever so slightly. So we've first got to upgrade it. It's a raw, no, is it a raw road? I think it's like a double lane, right? Yeah. So select that first. Raise this up a bit. You up a bit. Those being raised there. Is that high enough? Yes. More than enough. Right, get out of you, raise you. Sort these alignments out. So a little bit better. Easy, mate. Easy peasy. So there's a lot of chaos going on there. It might mean that this junction becomes a little bit hectic. But into play mode now. And now give this some time as well. Now we're going to give this a little bit of time. So in reality, I could slightly raise this, just take the heat off. The alignments there. How does that look now? Yeah, okay, we'll take it, we'll take it. We'll take it. Now, I wonder how long until we start seeing trains using this. Now, 100% they are going to use this. Because it's a lot shorter than the previous one, but I've pretty much given them two options. They've pretty much been given two options right now to cross the big river. So you can't complain, can you? Oh, there we go. How did I not spot that right now? Oh, no, sorry. That's our metro. That's our underground metro. Oh, there we go. There's a train. So this is a cargo train. And it's going from our warehouse connection over here. Wow. Okay, that's rerouted pretty quick. So our other warehouse connection over here. Now, that's a route that they could have went this way around. But because that is now quite a short distance, it should become heavily used. I'm just hoping it's not going to be too busy, that we have problems. That's the only thing we're kind of slightly hoping for. There's a passenger train line just there going through on these ones. So, yeah. I think this helps the passenger trains. It's just going to really kind of benefit the the global network in that kind of aspect. But it's just waiting to see what this pretty much does. Now it pops up over here. Is the big one. But it takes a while. It takes a while for the game to understand new routes. But I feel like we kind of implemented those in pretty well. And it doesn't really mess up my area too much. Because it is slightly an afterthought, isn't it? It is slightly an afterthought. So can I see any trains right now? No. I think we just got lucky on that one straight away. Yeah, I think we might have got slightly lucky straight away on that one train. But we'll see. We'll see right now. We'll give it a little bit more time. That's why it's this one here going through. Just watching it right now. Just takes a little bit of time. That's all. That is all. So these guys over here complaining there's not enough goods to sell. Well, the problem is all your goods to sell right now are stuck in cargo boats. Cargo ships. So we've got to wait to unload them before we can even get rid of them. It's all part of the fun, boys. It's all part of the fun. But there's no backlogs apart from the boats. So it ain't too bad. It ain't too bad just yet. Just yet is the big one. It ain't too bad just yet. I really want to see a train utilize it. Well, let me go back into it. Any trains? Any trains? Yoo-hoo! Oh my goodness me. Come on, boys. How long is it going to take to start seeing trains? I think we just got slightly lucky with that one. That's what I reckon. Another passenger train scooting through. But I still think they're going to pick this because it is technically still the shorter route. As much as I don't want them to use it, I still kind of want them to use it. Otherwise, it'll all be for nothing. There's a passenger, cargo train. So from the cargo hub over here, wow, that's interesting. So they've unloaded there and they're taking it where? To over here. That's interesting. Okay. So there goes the train skedoodling through. That's real interesting how they did that. So rather than like unloading on this side, well, for them, they found it like easier to go that way. There is a cargo train on the way back through. There is another cargo train on the way through right now. It's all starting to happen. It's all starting to have another cargo train coming through right now. Right, now it's happening, boys. Now it's starting to happen. It took a while, but now it's starting to happen, which is good. Really good. So we'll kind of finish off this little area right now. You know, it's a way to say that we're not building here by adding in trees. There we go. That's one way to say we're not building there. Just kind of cover up the little V area. Now you should really, in reality, take the trees away from where the trains actually are. So take a little bit away. Just there anyway, which should be good. Right, off you trot. Off you trot, boys. So, will we see an instant reduction in this? The answer's no. If we do see any reductions, they'll come over time. They will come over time. There's a lot of ships here kind of stuck in the queues. So I don't know whether it's also worth to kind of maybe kind of add a second layer of ship lane. Nah, it wouldn't really make much sense, that. But what I could do is maybe create a slight V-ish there. So they pull into that V and allow the cruise ships to pass through that don't really want to stop there. Maybe. Maybe. Anyway, are we still seeing trains using it? Yeah. There we go. Cargo train passing through just here. Is that a cargo train or a passenger train? No, another cargo. Very good. I like. Okay, this view's better. You can see all the colours right now. You can see all the colours. So yeah, a lot of trains utilising it. A lot of trains utilizing it. Very good. Very good. So, time will tell if it's been to any benefit to reducing the amount of ships. Because the more ships I have, the more cargo that's sitting there that can't be delivered to its destination. That's the problem we've got to go through. Also, the huge backlog right now of vehicles coming in and out. What's going on over here? They're all turning in and out in the wrong direction. Why are you going to the left? Oh, is this not a one-way road? Oh, this is not a one-way road here. Sorry. Shouldn't it be like a single lane as well? Is that a little bit too skinny? Yeah, it should have been highway road. We'll do highway road to there. And we'll do double raw road here. Yeah, I'm not liking how they're entering and exiting, overlapping one another. That's not good. How do I edit this? The entry and exits. I don't think that doesn't it for the vehicles, do they? Add a point. Type. Unspawn. Ground level. Add vehicle group. Car. Don't I have that up here? Scrap. I don't quite know how you meant to like edit the spawn points. I don't quite know. So I don't want them to you know, overlap like that. The overlapping is a big issue. A very big issue. I thought you could edit this stuff. So that's where they're spawning from. Police, ambulance, disaster response, fire truck, garbage. Let me duplicate this. Which is now down. Oh, which is now down at the bottom. And then add all types of vehicles. You can't add trucks, can you? So I don't know how that was even going to work. Can you not do that? I'm trying to like maybe edit the way I want it to edit. I might have to actually flip this on its head. Right, okay. What I'm going to have to do then is bulldoze you to there. Bulldoze you to there. Okay. So, we need to make this, and we'll do highway road. And we'll do connection tool from there to here. Which that should work out fairly well. But of course, it's going to flip around. So that will go this way. Instead. I don't like this. Like, delete you, delete you, delete you, delete you. I rather use this loop mode one. Yeah, that's better. More of a swoosh. More of a swoosh. There to there on this side. More of a swoosh. Actually, delete that. Try again. Is that all I'm going to get out of it? What if I do the connection tool on this one then? I could go with that and then just kind of slightly tweak it a little bit. Like select you, and then go upwards with it. So it slightly pulls away. Select you. Yeah, why not? Why not? So the alignment tool then, we'll go from... Well, we'll first go from here. No, we'll go from there to there, which is just fine. There to there. Sort that out. Here to here. Sort that out slightly. So they're turning off here instead to go around this way. It's just easier to flip it round, isn't it? It's easier to have it flipped around. Which we've got to sort out this lane map again. So hopefully that allows the vehicles to kind of come in and out a little bit easier. Now a lot of them have to go around the roundabout and come back because I've redirected all their routes. But now they're entering and exit differently, so they can kind of, you know, as many that go in can come out just as quick. That will solve that problem of unloading a little bit quicker. And should keep the traffic moving as well. Right, that's a bit better. We don't have that problem elsewhere, do we? No, we're okay here. We're okay there. So I'm not saying that it should start to die down because we're still going to be overwhelmed with traffic. But at least we can get the vehicles off the boats a bit quicker. This is actually dying down though. The backlog. So that's working out. And that's got to be down for the fact that we're seeing, you know, trains utilizing this. So the fact that there's not that many trains passing through is actually quite good. I'm actually quite impressed by that. I'm actually quite happy with that. Trains going down here. Perfect. So we're seeing trains on both sides. It's not being overwhelmed as I expected it to be. This is dying down a bit, but you could argue because they're now starting to queue here. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. But we're hoping that we start to see this start to slowly decrease. And we can get vehicles off the boats a bit quicker, so our buildings get their goods a little bit quicker. I think it's a win-win. I honestly feel like this is going to be a win-win. Win-win all round, boys. Win-win all round. Train popping through. Where did that train come from? So this railway warehouse connection to this one. They're loving that route, aren't they? They're loving going back and forth right now. But I suppose it provides the stuff that they need. So SnowFool can just keep thriving. Very good, sir. Very good. Yeah, this is definitely backing down slightly. Because that queue's getting smaller and smaller. So exactly what I like to see. Who would have thought that switching these round would have solved all my problems as well? Not me. Not me. But we got more demands. Yep, we still got more demands. So let's spend some of these demands right now. So we got a bit of residential. We might as well fill some of these residential gaps up at the moment. Fill those up. Fill those up. We got some commercial demands as well. We'll kind of go around the edges and fill these up. Because these are quite important areas for us. Just to there. We've got some industry demand as well, so we'll start putting down some office block buildings. Just there, and there. Bulk up this area too. Very good. So let them do what they've got to do. And we'll just see what happens with this over time. It could be a case of this is how it is. This is the new normal, but it is moving. But then again, this was backlogged as well, and it started to die down slightly. So I don't know who to believe at this point. I don't know who to believe. But what I do know is those train lines have seemed to worked out. They have seemed to have worked out, which is really good. So that should alleviate some pressures now. It should alleviate some pressures. And hopefully the cities, the areas, can thrive a little bit more. Now we're at 78,000 population. I actually didn't think we'll even potentially get anywhere near maybe 100,000, but it's looking like we will. We will be getting to 100,000 at some point. So I hope you guys did enjoy this. If you did, smash that like button down below. It's always fun to solve some problems. Until next time, I'll see you all soon. So goodbye.